comment under the first vegan video made me aware that I have missed out something very important. The viewer reminds me what I have been mentioning in this, highly recommended by the way, video of mine, amongst others, that actually it is part of our evolution that first we become vegetarian, then we restrict our diet more and more until we eat only fruits, and at the end we feed only on prana. And what he says is absolutely true, because as our psyche ascends, the body, which is nothing else but a magical projection of the qualities of every particular soul, changes its fuel requirements as well. And that's exactly the reason for which some people become vegetarians or vegans and they get sick. Their body is simply not geared for that. Amongst other factors, like the type of body they have and also their state of health. The modern nutrition ideas are childish. They simply don't register that people have different bodies and they have different fuel requirements. For more details, see the playlist called The Different Holistic Cure. More than 99% of the people, if they decide not to eat or eat only fruits, they get very, very sick very quick. That's because their psyche has not evolved, but they are trying to imitate the feeding habits of higher beings without the knowledge of how to attain those higher states of consciousness. And few other types of knowledge, like, for example, what kind of food is suitable exactly for their body. This you cannot find out by reading modern nutrition books, because they are fake science. This one can find out only when one's internal vision develops nowadays. Previously, at least in India, people could figure out by studying Ayurveda and applying to their own body, but this is not practical, at least for the audience of my channel currently. The only way now is through introspection, and for this introspection to work, you will need to develop some meditative skills. I have video on the simple meditation technique, which I recommend in case you are interested, and other types of knowledge as well, like for example about the purity of the foods. That's the worst lack of knowledge amongst the modern vegans. They would not drink the milk of a cow which has been treated properly with love and not abused, but they will eat imitation meat with nanobots, mark of the beast, made with human toilet. I mean, that was in the news 5-10 years ago, official news, not alternative. I had it on my channel. So artificial meat grown from that, and stem cells from aborted children, and probably the autopsy parts and burial ashes of their grandmother. For the vegans who live in the city and eat imitation meat, for them actually it will be way more beneficial to move to the countryside and raise cows with love and drink their milk, because in the ancient scriptures it is described that this milk exactly is the one which nourishes intelligence. That same intelligence which will tell you, don't eat your grandmother, better eat the eggs of the chicken raised with love. And yet on the other hand, if you are a vegan living in the countryside and growing your own food, and you are still healthy after being vegan for a long time, many years, all I can say is you're above me, few levels. I don't think I can reach that in this life. Indeed, if any such person is listening to this video, I will feel honored that such a soul is listening to my videos. And here is yet another problem with modern veganism. As usual, the parasites, they have applied their tactic of distorting the meaning of words to the point that people cannot understand each other and discuss things. Here, in the second part of the comment, he makes another important point, that those who took the fix, they're not really vegans. And again, he's right to the point, but then what word do I use when I speak about the misled fixed vegans in the city munching while being proud of it. Mark of the beast, nanobots. The only easily understandable word which I have for them is vegans. If I use something else, people will not understand me. But how do I call the people who are so highly evolved that they take no animal products, like the highly advanced yogis in the Himalayas? Well, we have no other word than vegans, and actually these two groups are like black and white. And since the highly evolved vegans are, I think, far less than 1% of the total number of people called vegan nowadays. That's why I'm using the term vegan to indicate this toxic cult founded by the satanic shills. The documentaries on the satanic cruelty which made the vegan cult popular, they're made by shills. Check yourself if you don't believe me. You will not harvest anything good by accepting the offers and the adverts of the devil, dear vegans. Now, yet, on the other hand, exactly as the evolution of consciousness influences the body, in the same way, if the body switches to more sattvic diet, that will also influence the consciousness. Changing the diet is one of the minor factors. It counts, but it is, like Seth says, about 20%, and I have noticed myself the same. And that's why when even modern vegans, they are in the countryside, they don't eat printed meat, they eat pure stuff, that is not enough to take them to higher states of consciousness. I'm not even talking about the city vegans, they don't take pure food anyway. And even if they're in a favorable situation, let's say some honest farmer is delivering to their door all the time really clean food, still that is not at all enough to make them advance spiritually, because for that you need to cultivate many other qualities. Yes, saying no to animal cruelty is one of them. It will open one door, but the big gates, they will remain closed for you. Unless you earnestly embark on a genuine spiritual practice. What are genuine spiritual practices? For those who speak the native languages, read the Vedas, read the Zoroastrian scriptures. If you are not from these regions, read Peter Danov, read Rudolf Steiner, Otrok Vyacheslav, Paisij Svetogorets. And by the way, it was 2 weeks after I published the first vegan video that this meaningful comment appeared. The first attempt for a meaningful discussion. Before that, I had to delete truckloads of trolling and slander. The vegans didn't want to discuss what I was talking in the video. Instead of that, they attacked me like, but you're saying this and that in the video, and they start insulting me on the basis of that. But I didn't really say that in the video. I said exactly the opposite. I deleted all of that, and that is trolling. I mention it just to let you know what kind of crowd they are. To bamboozle the people, those who advertise the modern veganism use fancy terms to make it look even more scientific. These are the very same people who are preaching to you about CO2 and the climate scam. Beware, the Satanists are teaching you what is godly diet. So, on the topic of the frugivorous, of course it is all a waste of time talk, because it is a waste on the Darwinian scam and the fraudulent history. As far as the real history, on this point in particular, actually there isn't much dispute on it. If you remove all of their conclusions and philosophizing, even the mainstream facts, and everybody who studies history or legends, which are actually our true history, it wasn't all this evolution and then gradually people discovering how to do stuff or domesticate animals, plants, etc. No. Everything was given at few hot spots around the world. Everything came, the developed human species as it is, together with its food, which was mainly these plants which are specifically custom tailored for agriculture, and together with the basic skills like the blacksmith skills. All this was given to the people by the angels, the guardians of the human race, the overseers of this school. In this yuga, many of us eat meat, and that's why the modern human race is geared. We have this teeth and digestive system for meat. Now, the next race, which is coming, the race of the pure people, they will be in the beginning mostly vegetarians and eventually only vegetarians. They will have a different machine. They will not need meat. They will be not maybe equipped for it even. But if you want to have the right to take birth amongst them, you need to elevate your consciousness using the current tool which you have, a body from this race, no matter how low that body is. And no matter how low it is, please don't make it even worse by swallowing all these nanobots sold with the certified vegan label. Didn't you read the news? They will put the crickets and the other disgusting stuff. They don't need to inform you. I'm telling you, friends, get a cow. Get a cow. Eat its yogurt. With the cow dung, you can fuel your fire and you can build your house. And the yogurt will nourish your intelligence so that you can enter the paradise where everybody drinks only